Welcome to the Hire Yourself Podcast. My name is Pete Gilfill, and I'm here with my business partner, Nat. We're all about helping people become better business people or just becoming entrepreneurs. Good morning, Nat.
Good morning, Pete. How are you doing?
Oh, I am doing awesome. I am super excited. Anytime we have the opportunity to do a podcast where we provide a great resource to our listeners, to people that are looking to invest in a franchise, I get super excited about it. Are you excited?
I'm excited. What do we got going today?
Oh, well, we have a very special guest today. We have Nancy Lanard. And Nancy Lanard is the senior partner at Lanard and Associates. So welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. I'm not sure I can keep up with that level, but that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so fun to have you here today. Nancy, you and I were connected probably about 6 months ago, and we had a good chat and stuff like that. And I was really intrigued about what you do. And so first, you created a law firm that helps people that are looking to go into franchising in different services and stuff like that. So my first question, though, is that how did you come up with this idea for Lanard and Associates to focus just on helping people that are looking at investing in a franchise?
It's a very interesting question because my background is I started quite a long time ago, about 25 years ago, as in-house counsel to Nutrisystem, when Nutrisystem was the number one weight loss company in the United States and had 1,800 franchised and corporate locations. 1,300 were franchised.
Yeah.
And when they went into bankruptcy, I started my first law firm. This is actually my third law firm. So I really understand starting a business because I've started 3 of them. So I get it. I even understand bankruptcy really well because I wasn't even paid the last week I worked at Nutrisystem. I was laying off people with great severance packages. And unfortunately, I was the trooper that was there till the end.
And you forgot your own severance package. I got it.
I didn't get it. And I was in the unemployment line with everybody else who was there at the end. So, but what I was going to say is, so I understand the franchisor side. I certainly helped a lot of companies that wanted to start franchising. But about 4 years ago, when I started this firm was about 7 years ago. And we are 7 attorneys. We are an all-female law firm. And
awesome.
Thank you. And we made the conscious decision about 4 years ago that we would only focus on helping franchisees in evaluating their franchise documents, setting up their entity if they needed that, helping with the lease if they are a brick and mortar franchise business, and helping with selling or buying an existing franchise location. And we did that because we felt there were too often occurrences where we had a conflict of interest in representing a franchisee who ended up looking at a system that we had helped establish. So we felt uncomfortable with that. We made the decision based on the fact that we felt that this was an underserved area.
So let's talk about that a little bit, right? So underserviced, I mean, there's a lot of people that say, hey, we can help you as you're looking to become a franchisee to take a look at the FDD and stuff like that. But you guys are special. I mean, there aren't many law firms out there that just do exactly what you do.
Interesting point. Yes. So in the American Bar Association's franchise law bar group, there are only a couple thousand attorneys to begin with. And that's everywhere in the United States. It actually even includes Canada. And there are some other international members, but nonetheless, there's only a couple thousand of us. And to put that in perspective, and that's all kinds of franchise law. And to put that in perspective, the Los Angeles Trial Lawyers Association, as I understand it, was about 4,000 attorneys. And that's just LA. So we're nationwide. So we're a tiny bar. And that's why I'm saying very underserved. We're a tiny bar. And most of those attorneys service franchisors.
Okay.
Or they do both sides.
Okay.
There really aren't, or if they are franchisee oriented, they're trial lawyers, they're litigators. They aren't transactional lawyers as we are. So you can see if when you put it down and down and down and down and go down that road, there really aren't that many of us.
That's
what we do.
Yeah, that's very good. And so when we talk about helping franchisees, it sounds like there are 3 primary things that you do to help people, right? So take me through, let's go one at a time. So first, you help them go through the documents, the franchise disclosure document, the franchise agreement. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when we have a prospective new client, we have a free initial consultation with them. It's usually close to an hour in duration, somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour, in which I go through our services with them and talk to them. And then I follow it up by sending out our engagement letter. And once we're retained, we try to turn things around pretty quickly for them because we know that they're anxious to move forward.
And that's unique, isn't it, Nancy? Like a lot of times, if an attorney is going to review an FDD or a franchise agreement, it could take a week or 2 weeks. I mean, when you talk about turning around fast, that's a real advantage of what you guys provide.
We think so, and that's why that's why there's seven of us. I've had clients. I had one client who retained me on a Thursday night, literally at 9 o'clock at night Eastern time, and said, I need to have this completed by 5 o'clock Pacific time because the franchisor was in California and they were offered some sort of a discount to sign by that date, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you're laughing, but that happens, right?
Yeah, right. So the follow-up question is, do you sleep, Nancy?
I did, but I couldn't consciously hand that out to one of my other attorneys to handle. So I did it myself, which I don't normally do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Luckily, I'm on East Coast time, so I had that extra little 3 hours of time there. But we actually got it done before 5 o'clock on Friday Eastern time, and we will get it done. I mean, if we have to, we don't really like that time frame. That's really ridiculously short, but we do get it done in a timely fashion. And then you asked me about the other services.
All right. So what's the second service?
Yeah. So that's the first. And we do that on everything for franchisees. We try to do on a flat fee basis. So the second service is forming their entity. If they're not using retirement plans, retirement funds to roll over into a corporation, we can set up their entity as a corporation or a limited liability company. There are differences. There are tax differences that should be considered. And we will set those up for them and get them everything that they need in order to be completely compliant with their state's regulations. And again, everything we do for franchisees is nationwide.
It sounds turnkey, right? So you help me set up my entity, do everything I need to do to file with the state, so I'm compliant. Got it. What's the third thing you guys do?
Leases. And we do a tremendous amount of commercial leases because of the kind that most franchisees, retail leases are looking at. And we actually are the recommended law firm for many, many franchise systems for their franchisees for the leases. Nationwide large franchise systems recommend us because they know that, again, we do it in a fast way. Landlords are very slow. They really operate at snail's pace for some reason that I've never figured out. So we keep things moving. We try when we hear back from the landlord after our first red line and they're on and keep, as that goes forward, we try to respond within 24 hours if it's during the work week. So we try to keep things moving. That's part of why franchisors love us for the leases.
So what I heard you guys say is you're very unique in your focus of just helping people that are looking to invest in a franchise. Number two is that you guys bring great experience to the table. And number three is that you guys do it in a way in which it's fast and done for the customer, right? The customer's paying you. And so you're working on their timeline, which is absolutely amazing. And I was reading and prepared for this, and I think you guys won an award, right? You're one of the top law firms by US News, right? Weren't you ranked as one of the top law firms?
We just got notification that we have that award again for that honor again for 2022. I would
Congratulations.
Say, thank you. I'm very excited about it. I haven't publicized that per se yet, but it is on my email and the little badge.
Yeah.
I was also named personally a best lawyer by the same organization for US News and World Report. And I'm a quote unquote legal eagle for the last 13 or 14 years with Franchise Times, which is also a great honor. So I'm excited about all of that. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on all your success. So let me ask you this, as somebody looks to get into business, and you work with people that are looking to go into business, right? So what would be some of the characteristics you think are important for somebody to have if they are going to invest in the business?
I think they need to be able to be a good entrepreneur. I mean, and a lot of people aren't, and that's part of the problem. I think they are reliant on the franchisor to try and teach them everything that they need to know. And a good franchise system does train very well and train them in all aspects of running a business, but they have to have the personality to be able to go out there and really network and market and bring in the business and bring in the customers and not depend on just putting out that sign and thinking that everybody's going to be lining up at their door. That's unusual unless you're maybe McDonald's. I don't think that's likely to happen. So
yeah. All right. So what I heard you say is that one, it's about, you just got to get out there and drive your business, right? Make it happen. And number two is that you got to be accountable, right? You're part of a franchise system and they're providing support, but at the end of the day, it's your job to figure out and go make it happen.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think they think when they're buying into a franchise that they are going to be handed over the customers. And unfortunately, that's just not what happens. I mean, they're going to be taught how to run this particular business. Hopefully, if it's a good franchise, they certainly are going to get the training to be able to run the business, but they aren't going to be necessarily handed customers. I mean, there are businesses in which leads are presented, but that's not the norm.
I know I started I bought a senior care franchise in my 20s, and I kind of didn't necessarily realize that completely. And then as I started to get my head around that, I decided, somebody said something, it's like a run for mayor type business where you have to always be out shaking hands and kissing babies. And I did that for about the first 3 years. And after that, it got a lot easier. But, you do have to kind of get the awareness of your business out there.
And that's true, I think, in any business. To be successful, whether it's doing what you
hustle.
guys do, it's doing what I do. That's why I said I've started 3 businesses. I kind of understand that concept. I think a lot of lawyers think, okay, I went to law school, I got my degree, I put out my shingle, where are the clients? Well, that's not how it works. And that's not how it works in any business. You have to be out there finding clients. And yes, once your name is known and your reputation is out there, whether it's known as McDonald's is known for burgers or whatever, whether it's a law firm or McDonald's, you need to get your name out there so that it's recognized and people start coming to you because of that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Nancy, I always like to ask the question, what is the best piece of advice somebody's ever given you?
Oh my gosh, the best piece of advice that I've ever gotten, probably from my husband, who is a marketing person. And he's given me great advice on how to network and market. And I think that's really, going back to what we were just talking about, I think that's really important, getting yourself out there, feeling comfortable. And I think also as a woman, that's a very hard thing to do. If you go to a conference, I go to American Bar Association, the annual franchise law meeting, going up and shaking someone's hand that you've never met before and saying, hi, I'm Nancy Lanard, who are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
That's not a really comfortable thing for a lot of people. And I think learning how to do that is essential. And whether that's in the context of a conference or in the context of just socializing in any, in your church or your synagogue or your, mosque or whatever your setting is, or going to any kind of event that you want to meet people and let them know who you are and let them get to know you and tell them about your business, I think is really important. Getting out there.
Yeah, putting yourself out there, right? It's just whatever context it's in. That's great advice. So excellent. Well, Nancy, congratulations on having the vision to create a business that caters to people specifically that are looking to invest in a franchise. That is actually brilliant. Number two is congratulations on creating an experience for those customers where they can get great service quickly from that standpoint. I suspect at a fair price from that standpoint. And you got to be very proud that you've built 3 businesses, but especially this business, and what you've created. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Pete. I appreciate it. And, congratulations to both of you as well. It's, you've done a great job. So thank you. And yes, I'm very proud of what I've created. And, I think we do a great job and we have a lot of great Google reviews. So I assume the clients are pretty happy.
Yeah, that's always important to have good Google returns
exactly.
or reviews. Excellent. All right, Nancy, thanks again. We really appreciate you being a guest today.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Hire Yourself podcast. For more resources, check out our website at hireyourself.com. And remember to subscribe to this podcast to receive each episode. Please leave us a rating, and we'd love to hear your feedback or suggestions for topics.